We learned recently that Pantera would be reuniting, both Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown signing on for a series of big tribute shows to the band's iconic legacy and, of course, the Abbott brothers. And initially, there was understandably some skepticism. Most of that has gone away with the endorsement of the estates of the Abbott brothers, both fully approving this. We also know now that these musicians will be joined by both Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benante, both very close friends of the Abbott brothers. And also, the band is bringing on Dimebag Darrell's longtime guitar tech to make sure they get that tone as close to Dimebag Darrell's sound as possible. Initially, there were questions about how authentic they could make the sound, and that remains to be seen. But it does appear as though they are making as much of an effort to do this, to meet that standard as much as they possibly can. But let's be clear, nobody can replace the Abbott brothers. I don't think that anyone is trying to do that here. I think what they're trying to do is put together some big, badass parties for Pantera fans, people that have never seen them before, play these songs. These songs do not get played often, unfortunately. And for people like me that have never seen them, this is an opportunity that you just can't really pass up. So a lot of people have spoken about this. Zakk Wylde has spoken about this. Charlie Benante has spoken about this. And now we have Corey Taylor of Slipknot weighing in. And this is particularly interesting because some of these Pantera shows are going to be taking place at Knotfest shows. That has already been announced. So Corey's going to get a front row seat to some of these shows. And he weighed in on a recent appearance with Eddie Trunk on Trunk Nation. And he was asked his thoughts on these shows. And this is what he had to say. He said, "I know everybody in the band. I knew everybody in the prior band, so it's interesting. I know there's a lot of debate about it. All I'm going to say is that I'm stoked to see these songs played live. I'm stoked to see it done with respect. Whether anybody wants to admit that or not, these fans online, they want to admit this or not, you're talking about two dudes who not only knew the brothers from years ago, knew them before Pantera was even a thing. They were friends with those guys when Pantera was still playing clubs, and they would go hang out with them with those respective bands, would go and play Dallas. They would go and hang out with those dudes. So then when Pantera becomes massive, lo and behold, they're touring with their friends, man. You can't get a better drummer than Charlie. You can't get a better guitar player than Zakk to step in those shoes. Is it going to work? I don't know. But to say that it's not the right thing, first of all, it's for anybody else to say except for Phil and Rex, because those guys, they were in the band. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and let's see what happens. And this is great feedback from Corey. As he pointed out, they are really trying to do this with respect. They've obviously, up to this point, done everything the right way. I think you couldn't handpick better musicians to stand up there and play with them. Obviously, if I had to choose, I'm going to choose Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benante. It makes the most sense in this situation. They're bringing on the guitar tech. Zakk Wylde will even be playing guitars that Dimebag owned and played on stage as well. So they're really trying to make this an authentic experience, and it is exciting. And again, later this year, Corey's going to get a front row seat because they're doing 3 dates on Knotfest down in South America. And presumably next year, we're going to see these shows come to the US, and hopefully those shows happen and they're as big of a spectacle as they can possibly be. I want all the pyro. I want all the special effects. Anything they can do to maximize this, I would expect to see from them. And it seems like there's smart people involved. And so we're hopeful that these shows are just going to be kick-ass. But I know there's a lot of people who don't agree with this. If you don't agree, give me a thoughtful response down in the comments. Let me know why that is. I would love to hear that perspective because obviously I'm really pumped about this, but I do want to hear from people that have a different perspective. So let me know in the comments down below.
That's your latest update from Rockfeed. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future stories. Check out the recommended videos on your screen and visit rockfeed.net for more.